God bless football, Billy Gill.
God bless football, Mikey, eh?
God bless football, Stugotz.
We are loaded today, Billy. We have Chris Sims. We have Austin Ekeler, Mike Golic. This is very exciting. Breece Hall is going to be on the show. Me and Mikey A are very excited for this. And we have Brent Key, the head coach of Georgia Tech. I'm going to try to get it out of him, Billy. I just want to know if he was laughing when Mario Cristobal decided not to take a knee against Georgia Tech.
Do you think he's going to tell you that?
No, I don't.
Okay, very good.
No. What's going on with you today?
What's going on with me today?
Yeah. You don't have your glasses on. You have a different look to you. It's weird, you know? I mean, you
Should
look
I put
great.
'em on?
You look. I mean, I'm good either way. It looks different when you take your glasses off.
To be honest with you, it's because, so we're not in the studio right now, so I had them on, and then I noticed that they were giving off like a very bright reflection, so I thought that it would look better to not have that reflection on the screen, so I took them off. But I see if I put them on, you see there? Yeah, so I decided to take them off just to kind of make things easier. So I can't see great, but I can see good enough to get this, recorded.
I am fighting with everything I have, the fact that I need glasses and probably need to wear them all the time. Like you guys notice every now and then you'll send me a note on the chat here and I have to put my glasses on and then I take them right back off because I'm embarrassed to have to wear glasses.
Why?
Because it's a sign of old age. That's why.
I mean, I had glasses in like second grade. It's not an old age thing.
Yeah, but you probably needed those glasses. I've never needed glasses before. That's my point. So I think
Yeah, but it's an old age thing the way he does it. You know, he does that thing where it's like he kind of has this where he's like doing a magnifying glass type thing with him. You buy your glasses from the grocery store, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Yes. I mean, you don't? I get my sunglasses there as well. I do. I do. They're $18, you know? By the way, I'll just let the audience know that Le Batard is calling me while I'm taping God Bless Football. I mean, this guy is unbelievable.
Stugotz, I wanted to give you my thoughts and prayers on apparently not winning the Powerball because I know you had big plans for doing so, and you're here, so I assume you did not.
I didn't win the Powerball. I did buy a bunch of tickets for the Powerball. Someone won it in Florida, Billy. You know that, right?
No, someone won it in California. I did see, though,
Really?
that there were two people that won like $1 million or $2 million, and some were in your area because I guess they had a certain number of numbers correct. Unless have you checked that yet or no? Because you may have won $1 million.
No, I already cashed in my tickets. I won $14.
Well, you did not. Hold on a second. You did not win $14. How much did you spend?
I spent $200.
Okay, so about 186 in the hole there.
Not about 186. I'm 186 in the hole.
Did you get did you get, because I've gotten this the past couple of times where they give you like a bonus ticket that it's like it's called like a raffle ticket. I have no idea what the raffle is for, but they tell me to keep it and to scan it after a certain amount of time because it says bonus prize raffle ticket. And I'm supposed to scan it at some point. And it'll tell me if I win or if I lose. I think it's like $500 you can win.
What are you talking about? All these? I mean,
there you go. Oh my gosh, you weren't joking. You spent. Oh my gosh, Stugotz, this is a problem. Don't do that. This is a problem.
I just made it rain raffle tickets in my office. I mean, I got to pick them all up. The raffle tickets are annoying. Listen, I'm going in there to win $1.8 billion. I don't want a $500 raffle ticket. I don't want it. I mean,
You know what just occurred to me though? So when I go, I'll spend $10, which is like 5 tickets, because I'm like, if I'm gonna win, I'm gonna win. If not, I'm not gonna spend $3,000 on tickets. You know?
Sure.
And every time they ask me, do you want it individual or do you want it just as one? I'm like, it's all fine. Just on one is fine. I mean, it's just for me, so I don't care. Just put the 5 tickets on one. But now it's occurring to me that had I bought each of them individually, I probably would have gotten 5 raffle tickets because I think it's 1 raffle ticket per printed out ticket. So I may be costing myself chances at money. And we're not here to talk about the lotto or the Powerball. We're here to talk about football.
No, but Billy, I will tell you, because you said something that's interesting to me. If I won Powerball, I would still be doing God Bless Football. I love doing God Bless Football. I do. I would. I'd still be. You're not buying it.
I mean, you make $1 billion. I don't think you will be. I don't think you'd be here today.
Okay. Do you think if Joe Burrow won the Powerball that he would quit playing football? I mean,
he won the Powerball and he seemingly quit playing football.
Playing football?
Yes. Yeah.
But if he happened, he bought a ticket, he was driving home one day from practice and he stopped at a gas station and he's like, $187 million. And he buys, $20 worth of tickets and then wins the Powerball. Do you think he's quitting playing football?
Yes, I do.
You do, huh?
Yeah.
I don't.
Okay. Well, agree to disagree.
I think he'd be questionable for every game. I think that's how it would be. If I feel like it, if I got nothing else to do,
if I show
sure,
up,
I'll
I show
throw a
up.
pass.
If I don't,
I'll throw something to Jamar Chase. He gets hit one time, he's out.
Yeah. Billy, what are you looking forward to this weekend? College football or the NFL? We have a big game this weekend. Dolphins and Eagles Sunday night football. We're gonna get destroyed. Oh my God.
That's next week.
Oh, I'm sorry. Jets and Eagles.
This week is Jets Eagles.
Yeah. Sorry. I got confused. It's Le Batard calling me. It's me throwing raffle tickets in the air. I got confused. I'm sorry. I got ahead of myself. What are you looking forward to, Billy?
What am I looking forward to? I guess I'm looking forward to some college football. I feel like that UM-UNC game has potential for being hilarious if something goes wrong in that one, the way it went wrong last week. So that could be fun because I have friends that are fans of both schools. So like either way, people that I know will either be happy or will be miserable. So it has the potential for being funny in both directions. Because both teams are very confident that they're going to win this game, which is like it's never good when both teams are certain they're going to win that game.
Agreed. North Carolina should have some confidence. I'm not certain Miami should. But you have friends at North Carolina, huh?
I have, multiple North Carolina friends, surprisingly.
Okay.
It's just get UM to – I was just going to say, just get UM to victory formation, then you'll get the win. You get them right where you want them.
That's exactly right. He never does it. It's unbelievable. It's so strange. I do think the committee, though, and this is interesting because Mike Ryan brought this up earlier in the week on our show, where hopefully, he said this, hopefully the committee, if the Canes were to win out and win the ACC and win the ACC championship game, if the committee, and I believe this is the committee's job to do this, okay? I really do. You have a committee. They're supposed to look at things a little bit differently, okay? Body of work, all that. I do wonder if the Canes run the table here, win the ACC, win the ACC championship game, if the committee looks back at that game and says, you know what? They were a victory formation away from being undefeated. Therefore, we're going to put them into the college football playoff. Do you guys think that's even remotely possible that the committee would do that?
Well, I mean, if they run the table, they beat North Carolina, they beat Clemson, they beat Florida State, they beat Louisville. Like they will have a lot of quality wins and they'll have one loss. And you assume that a lot of the teams ahead of them will be losing some games down the road. So it's possible that with the strength of schedule, they could get in if you look at that one loss. But I don't know.
I think they absolutely could get in, but what I'd like to see from the committee is things like I'd like them to call Mario Cristobal in and be like, if we let you in, I need you to apologize for the end of that game and tell us you will never, ever do that again. And then we will put you in. But without that apology, you're not getting into the playoff.
I don't know that he does it.
I don't think he does either.
I don't think he does it.
Billy, wait, hold on. Mikey A., how do you have this playing out? He has to show up to their offices and apologize?
Hat in hand.
Okay. Okay. And Billy, you're saying if given the opportunity, so the committee calls Mario Cristobal and says, listen, get on the first flight to wherever it is the committee hangs out, okay? Get here, walk into this office, apologize to all of us, and we'll put you in the playoffs. You're saying that Mario Cristobal would not do that? And you might be right because he's unwilling to take a knee. I mean,
I'm saying I'm uncertain that it will definitely happen.
But if it did, what do you think Mario would do? I mean...
Well, no, the scenario will never happen. That's never the way that this is going to work.
It should, though.
I'm trying to go down this hypothetical path with you.
It's a great one. No, but it's a great one. Mikey is saying, hey, just come here and apologize.
No, I get it.
Yeah, I think it's how would a coach not do that? I mean, it gets him into the playoffs. He'd be happy.
You know what this has me worried about, and this is probably strange because everyone's been looking forward to it. I'm worried about what a 12-team playoff is going to look like next year, to be honest with you, because what I'm realizing is a lot of bad teams are going to get into that 12-team playoff, and you're going to have the potential for like star players on real teams getting hurt or just random teams making it through. And I feel like we're not going to be getting what people want.
I agree with you. There's also this factor. I think college football has it down perfectly. Their regular season feels like at times they feel like playoff games. For instance, this weekend you have Oregon and Washington playing, and that feels like a de facto playoff game. It feels like a play-in game. The winner will have a chance to make it to the playoff, and the loser likely won't make it to the college football playoff. You are taking that out of college football when you have a 12-team playoff. And so I'm with you, Billy. Like, I think it's going to be bad for college football. I know people are excited about it. Like, Golic's excited about it because Notre Dame always has 2 or 3 losses, I mean, but I just, like, who's the 12th team in the country right now? Who is it right now? I'll look it up if you guys can't find it. But that's the reason that I don't like it. It takes some of the sting away from some of these big games. Like, USC has a must-win game this weekend at Notre Dame. They have to win it. If they don't win it, they're not going to the college football playoff. And therefore, I think a 12-team playoff is a really bad idea. You're right, Billy.
North Carolina is 12th, by the way, right now.
Okay, so Carolina, most people would say they're probably deserving of being in the playoff. But, Mike, give me like 11, 10, 9, or give me higher if you don't mind.
So you got 9 Texas, 10 UNC, 11 Alabama. 12
that's where you
Carolina.
lose Stugotz on this is number 11 right there.
Who's 13 though? Who's 14?
Ole Miss.
Okay, so Billy, you're right. I don't think anyone views Ole Miss as an elite team in college football, but Ole Miss would get into the playoff would have a good chance of getting to the playoffs in this scenario. Billy, there's half the season left. They could get in.
I suppose. I mean, I think it would be fun for Lane Kiffin to get into the playoffs. So this is a bad argument that I'm making now because it would exclude Lane when he's right there.
So let me ask you this. Do you think it should say 4 then? Because I think 4 was no good. I'm with you that 12 is probably too much, but I think 4 is...
I would say 8.
I always like 6.
You know what's weird about the 4 is that even in the 4, in some of these years, we get to a matchup and you're like, yeah, this 4th team should not be in this. Like, this is a waste of a game. Right. And now we're going to have 12 teams.
Yes, and it's always Oklahoma or Notre Dame. I mean...
Jeez.
Right, we could barely scratch out 4 good teams, and now we're going to try to scratch out 12. Billy, do we have a fantasy game this week? What's happening?
We do have a fantasy game. Compete against us in weekly fantasy. Go to dkng.co/LeBatard. $3 buy-in. You can win some money. I won last week. Well, I didn't win the whole thing. I got like 30th place, but I got like $10. So
wow, congratulations.
That'll have me covered for the next couple of weeks. I have a game that I want to play with you guys throughout the episode today. And as Stugotz mentioned, we have a loaded show, particularly on audio. On the video side, we're going to talk to Chris Sims. We're going to talk to Austin Ekeler. On the audio side, we're going to talk to the head coach of Georgia Tech. We're going to make our weekly picks. We're going to have Carl Douglas come back. He had a huge week last week.
He did.
He went 4-0-1. We're going to talk to Austin Ekeler. We're going to talk to Breece Hall. We're going to talk to Chris Sims. We're going to talk to Golic. We have a lot of people on the audio side. On the video side, we have Sims and we have Ekeler, which is great. Now, here's a game that I want to play throughout the episode and see if you guys can kind of catch this theme that I'm doing. I'm going to see how many teams I can suggest to the guests that Kirk Cousins is a great fit for.
Okay, that's the game.
Yeah, it's because here's the thing. You're saw this
with Kirk
week.
Cousins,
well, it's not that I'm obsessed with Kirk Cousins. It's that you guys threw out there that Kirk Cousins could be traded to the Jets and that it would be a great fit, right? And I scoffed at that and I said, that's ridiculous. Why would they do that? And then the news came this week that Colt McCoy was being worked out by the Vikings, which seems like if they're working out veteran quarterbacks, there may be a quarterback move made at some point, right?
Listen, you don't work out Colt McCoy unless you're about to make a move, okay?
Yeah, but you also don't start Colt McCoy, so what is the move?
I don't know. It was a dumb thing to say. I just felt like saying it.
Well,
so anyway, so you want to play this game?
Yeah, so I want to find the best fit for him. But the problem is that I've kind of caught on to our analysts that come on and talk football with us. None of them like to play the games that I like to play, and none of them like to think that Kirk Cousins is going to be moved, particularly with some of the suggestions that I made. Because I'm thinking outside the box. I'm seeing what team can use a Kirk Cousins right now.
Right.
You know?
What team do you think could use a Kirk Cousins?
The Jets are right there. I feel like the Steelers are there. I'm not sold on Kenny Pickett. I don't know how you guys feel about Kenny Pickett. I feel like that could be a fit.
Right.
Who couldn't use a first ballot Hall of Famer right now?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Anyone else, Billy? Like, who else could use Kirk Cousins?
Well, stick around and you'll hear who else was suggested.
Chris Sims is not a fan of any of your games, huh?
That appears to also be a theme that I've caught on to, is that Chris Sims doesn't really like my games.
All right, if you're watching on television, Chris Sims is going to join us next. If you're listening on audio, I have no idea who's joining us next. Chris Sims is with us, PFT with Mike Florio every day on Peacock, the Unbuttoned podcast as well, Football Night in America. Sims is with us every single week here on God Bless Football. Billy is calling a football game, Sims. Any advice? You called a few.
Don't listen. Press mute. That's what I tell everybody. Press mute.
What is that?
That'll
Where's the
help the
support?
game.
Where's the support?
He's on the FIU call. Sims, I want to start.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. It's listen, he's big time, Chris. He's bigger than both of
Please
us.
just have a clip or two for us next week, all right? Can we
Yeah.
have a few sound bites for us? Do something for this show, finally, Billy.
How about
And
this?
make sure you clip out your two most embarrassing moments.
Why don't we do this, Chris? Why don't you tell me one thing that you want me to do or say, and I will do and say that for you.
Yes. I love
Chris
that.
Sims is the smartest football guy I know. You say that on the telecast, and we'll be buddies forever.
I don't want to lie.
Sims, think of something. He will do it. He'll weave it into the broadcast. If you can think of something.
All right,
something
I
better
will.
than
I'll
one
think
you
of
just
something.
suggested. Yes.
What's your favorite movie, Sims? Have him do a quote from your favorite movie during the game.
Well, I'm like a Godfather guy, right? So that would definitely be my favorite movie. Godfather 1 or 2, whatever. I think that probably classifies as my favorite movie. So there's a lot of great quotes there.
What's
So-
the
Leave the
figure-
football,
Never seen
take the cannolis.
Yeah, he's swimming with the fishes, right? I mean, there's lots of things you could do there. So enough of the ideas, though. Let him figure it out on his own.
Why don't you weave in God Bless Football? Can you do that?
You know what? Maybe
Yeah.
I could do that.
Yeah.
Chris, I have a question for you. A football question, believe it or not. So a report came out that the Vikings worked out Colt McCoy, which is leading fuel to the fire that Kirk Cousins may get traded. Something here or nothing?
I think it's nothing still. I don't think the Vikings are at the point where I would throw in the towel quite yet. They're not there yet. Now, I know the Justin Jefferson injury is adding a little more intrigue to this situation. But then I think the other part of me is like a little bit of like, okay, we have the Jets where if it falls apart for Zach Wilson, maybe, okay, they trade for Kirk Cousins. But like, where else? What's the market? Where is everybody going to go week 8 and go, bam, we need Kirk Cousins. We need him now. And he's the future of our organization. I mean, barring a crazy injury here, I don't see that happening here, right now. I don't know.
Patriots?
Maybe, but are they going to what? First off, I don't see any light at the end of the tunnel for the Patriots. And I don't think he fixes their problems.
Right.
I don't look at it and go, well, damn, they got Kirk Cousins now. It's all good. They're going to turn it around. Right. And then, for what? How much are you going to trade? And what, is Mr. Kraft going to let Belichick mortgage the future of the franchise on a guy where Belichick might not even be there and we're not even sure he's the future quarterback there? So that's where I guess I don't really see it happening.
Steelers.
Well, what do you mean? I mean, they're going to give up on Kenny Pickett already?
Yeah. No, you got to give up on Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, no, I know. So that's why you're wrong on that. And then again, it's another one where I go, why do we think Kirk Cousins is going to turn around the Steelers offense?
Sims, can you explain the Steelers and Mike Tomlin? Yeah. They're 3-2. What the I mean, seriously.
Well, I mean, it's not. It is crazy. The last 2 home games they won, they were severely outplayed.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And one was because of Deshaun Watson playing about as bad as I've ever seen him play, and then the missed throws, some turnovers altogether by their football team. And then last week, I mean, they won the game, and I give them credit for hanging around and doing all that. But that was that's a game where if we all sat there and watched it together, you'd go, oh my gosh, the Ravens should have won this by 20 points.
Right. I
mean, it was a debacle. It really was. I mean, the Ravens, that was a master class in how to screw up a football game. I mean, Zay Flowers dropped a big pass on the first drive. Second drive, they do whatever they want and score a touchdown. The next drive, they go right down the field goal and settle for a field goal and have 2 drop touchdown passes on that drive. They're moving the ball again, and Justice Hill gets stripped. They horrible at the end of the first half, right? They're in field goal range. I don't know if the center was supposed to snap it, not whatever else. They come away with no points on a 4th and 2, right? So there's that. There's more drops, another drop touchdown in the second half. There's then the interception in the end zone by Lamar, right? So, I mean, it was just one thing after another. And I don't feel necessarily confident in the Steelers. I know they're battle-tested and tough, but I don't look at it and go, man, they're close. They're going to turn the corner here.
I hear you, but I'm confident in that coach.
I am too.
Yeah.
I mean, Tomlin's always going to rally the troops.
Right.
Where I'm not confident is the offensive coordinator coach, where that I just still see, a very simple and not a lot of answers on offense. And I don't think you can just go, well, we'll just rely on the team we're playing this week to mess it up. They'll drop wide open passes and all that. And that's to me what kind of happened in the last game. The Ravens must have been sick watching the film of that game back on Monday morning.
No doubt. It's been interesting to watch, at least this season through 5 games, I guess, Justin Fields, because got off to a terrible start, Chris, but the last 2 weeks he's played the position nearly perfect, as well as you can actually play it. What is happening? What are they doing differently with Justin Fields? And he's not running the ball, Chris.
Yeah, no, I think, one, a little bit like we've had conversations with Zach Wilson. They finally are opening it up and just going, wait, like we got to take the training wheels. We just got to be aggressive, and either he sinks or swims, right? But either way, we're going to find out when we know here. And I think you're saying it right. He's staying in the pocket better. He's seeing the field better, slowly but surely gained some confidence, I think, in that Broncos football game to go, okay. They're finding ways to feature a guy that I've been telling everybody is a superstar for the last 2 years in DJ Moore. I mean, he's a superstar. He just got stuck in a bad situation in Carolina. But, yeah, I think I couldn't be happier for Justin Fields. The way he's throwing the football, the decisions he's making, really impressive. And I'm expecting that to continue into next week. Listen, they got a decent run game, like you said. Hopefully they can expand the quarterback run game. They got a good tight end, a good running back. And Mooney, along with DJ Moore, is a damn good duo at receiver. So there's some potential there for them to make some waves on that offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, they play the Vikings this week, so that's going to be an interesting game. Another guy who's, I guess, fans have been critical of, but kind of answered the questions last week, Desmond Ridder. Like I thought, Chris, I watched a lot of that game. I had money on it. They're 3-2. Ridder had a really, really good game. Like, what's your evaluation of him as a quarterback?
Well, it's the first game that I've gone, okay, there's Desmond Ridder. That
right.
looked like a starting quarterback,
yes.
Right?
Yep.
There we go. You talk about a pressure moment. I think that was a game that if he doesn't play well, that you're going to hear, like, maybe we should start Taylor Heineke and all of that. But, Stugotz, you're exactly right. Hey, they got an awesome offensive line. We know they can run the ball, and their defense is a top 10 defense in football. The only thing that was missing was going, wait, they can't live in the Stone Age here. We got to start throwing the football more and making some plays in the pass game. And again, honestly, I think this goes a little back to our Zach Wilson, what we talked about with Justin Fields too. There was 2 things that I watched the film back of that game. One, Ridder was as aggressive and decisive. And I mean that even with his throws. Like the first thing I said when I watched it and I wrote it down, the first thing I noticed is Ridder is letting it go, throwing with authority, throwing it through the target. I mean, he was throwing balls with real pace on the ball. To me, a lot of the times he's oh gosh, is he open? And he passed the ball and he throws it real nice and soft and tries to place it on the target. And oh, bam, it got knocked down because the ball hung in the air for 7 seconds. I saw in this one going, no, I'm going to throw the fastball here. I'm not going to second guess myself. I saw that, let alone I think when you couple that with first down passing and playing from a position of power again a little, right? I think so many times coaches and they all make the mistake of, hey, we're going to manage the quarterback, right? And what do they do when they manage it? They make it simple. They throw a lot of routes that are short. And I can speak to that as a quarterback. You're like, well, damn. The defense is just playing downhill. We got 5 guys all at 6 yards. Hey, coach, for 6 yards, I got to really fit that into tight windows. And you're calling basic plays that the defense has seen all training camp, all spring. You're not giving me any help here. They had some game plan specific throws and play action passes to kind of jumpstart him a little bit. And I think that was important. Another team that I would say took the training wheels off and said, all right, it's do or die. We got to see, is he the starting quarterback, or are we going to manage this thing and look like a first-grade offense all the time? And they let it go, and he answered the bell in a big way.
Did the Cowboys get exposed, or was that just a 1 week kind of ass whooping?
Well, no. I mean, this would be like something that if you listen to my podcast, right, I've been talking – the Cowboys are so simple on offense. It's totally reliant on the Jimmies and the Joes, right? And I know everybody's going to get on Dak Prescott, and I would encourage anybody to listen to Chris Sims Unbuttoned from my Wednesday What the F*** Happened podcast, because I drew a few diagrams of plays. I talked about it. It's always been a simple offense, right? Kellen Moore, they were a little more aggressive about pushing the ball down the field. The thing they're doing with McCarthy this year is run the ball, and they're throwing the ball short a lot. And that has made Dak Prescott be efficient, and they've been, high completion percentage of moving the ball that way. But like simple, basic, we don't motion, we don't shift, and then have a simple route tree with everybody, that ain't going to fucking beat the San Francisco 49ers. Are you kidding me? I mean, look on my social media later today. You're going to see two plays that I drew up. Two of the first three passes of the game are the 49ers saw that in the first day of OTAs in April. They're like, whoa, 3 guys ran straight? Holy, coach, call a timeout. Let's have a game plan. Oh, they all ran straight, coach. What do we do? What do we do to defend? Are you kidding me? Another throw is it's a backside slant and a guy running a hitch and a guy running a corner, in an I formation. Whoop-de-fucking-do. So there's no avenue for Dak Prescott to succeed in a game like that. There was nobody open. His dumb interception was the deep pass he threw down the middle, right, to Sean Gibson. The other two were 49ers all over the play like glue. So I wrote, the Cowboys will never be able to beat the 49ers with that pass game approach unless they can run the football. And I don't think they're going to ever be able to run the ball in the 49ers. They're going to beat a lot of teams the way they play, right? Because they're more talented, but they're not going to beat the really good teams in football. It's just too basic and simple, and that would be the thing that bothered me about the game, Mikey A.
Is it down to Dak and Joe Burrow for being the quarterbacks, I guess, in the worst spot because of the simplified offensive approach? Or is there someone else that's in that conversation?
The one thing I'll give the Bengals credit for, watching that game back on film, they're trying. They're expanding. It's slowly but surely they are. And you know how I said to you guys last week, right? A really good offense has to be really good at something, right? What are you elite at to get the game plan to go, whoa, they do this and we got to stop it? The Bengals said, we're going to be the best short passing team in football, and every play we call is going to be for Jamar Chase. That's what we've kind of seen here the last 2 weeks, especially last week. And I'd go, okay, there's a start, right? Now, this week, the Seahawks are going to look at it and go, damn, they'll carve you up with the short passing game. We need to get up there. Damn, we need to double Jamar Chase. And that's going to open up a whole bunch of other things in their offense. So, no, I would say the Cowboys and Dak Prescott are fighting even a more uphill battle than the Bengals. Now, they can protect better the Dallas Cowboys than the Bengals can. They're better this week, the Bengals, but I think the offense is still more imaginative and going more in the right direction in that sense in Cincinnati than in Dallas. Billy, sorry.
The NFC is interesting, Chris, because growing up watching football, you could tell before the season started, okay, it's going to be the Giants-Niners NFC Championship game. But parity is kind of taken over here, and you get some surprise teams. But in the NFC, Chris, are you going to be shocked if it's not Eagles-Niners in the NFC Championship game?
I mean, that would be if you made me bet money, that's the one I'd bet on, right? For sure.
Yes.
All right. But the Detroit Lions, I think
they could sneak in. Yeah.
They're officially one of those teams that I could go, they could upset one of those teams and play with one of those teams and beat them in the divisional round. The Detroit Lions offense is one of the 3 best, most creative offenses in all of football. It's the 49ers, the Dolphins, and the Detroit Lions. They do it all, and they're aggressive and all that. So they're a team, and the way their defense is playing, top 10, right, all of that, they're a team that can upset that matchup, definitely. But no, I think it's still safe to say that the Eagles and Niners are the cream of the crop, with the Lions nipping at their heels, and then the Seattle Seahawks just right behind that.
Do you agree with Orlovsky when he says that Mac Jones would look like would look a lot better playing for the San Francisco 49ers than the Patriots?
Well, you guys know me, of course. I mean, yeah, I agree with him.
Really?
I'm not trying to say like, oh, Mac Jones would be better than Brock Purdy or anything like that. But yes, I mean, this is the theme of us talking. Let's put this guy here, and you think he won't look as good on this all-star team? And you think this one's going to look as good with this shit offense and slow receivers and offensive line that can't block and not a good running game? I mean, yes, I think that's not like Rex Ryan's reaction is insane. Like to even think that. I mean, I saw that. Like, well, what? Of course he would be better on the 49ers. Of course.
What are you smiling about?
I'm just taking it all in. I was honestly trying to figure out where I could put Kirk Cousins next.
But this is where I'm so sick of like
San Francisco.
and then this is where I know MVP conversations and all that. And it's where like I even said this on my podcast this week too. Like I'm just so sick of the MVP going to the quarterback on the best team.
Convenient
right?
year for this take.
Well, yeah, because the most valuable player on your offense is Tyreek Hill. I mean, period. I mean, duh. It's not even close. All right? And the most valuable player on the 49ers offense is Christian McCaffrey. Yeah. It's not even close. So that's the thing I'm going to pound the table for all year. I'm sick of this. The best that they shouldn't even call it the MVP. They should just call it the quarterback on the best team award. That's what it's become.
Your dad would beg to differ. I mean, your dad believes into it.
My dad and like me again, because that's what it is. He knows that offense is awesome. He's going to put the stats up. Right. He's playing great. I'm not trying to take away from that. The most valuable player on that team is Tyreek Hill. Come on, he changes everything.
Fair.
Everything.
Yep.
You get to throw a screen over here, and he runs across the field and up the sidelines for 70 yards. Like, who the f*** has that luxury? Come on.
Nobody.
That's insane.
All right, so I'm going to do this for you next week as an audition, okay? Not to be your best man, just to read the speech that the best man's supposed to read, okay?
Are you going to chat GPT it?
No, there's been a draft. I don't know how much you're going to like this speech, but there's a draft that's out there. I've heard, Austin.
All right. Yeah. All right. I'm expecting at least a 20-minute speech, so I'm just letting you know right now.
Okay.
Wow.
We will.
No, I'm kidding. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself.
I'll keep it to 10 minutes, okay?
I mean, that's even extensive. You know, if it was like 3 or 4, I'd be like, well done.
It's going to be 9 minutes of him thanking his sponsors and then 1 minute of a speech.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know me well, Mike. Yes. Austin, I'm wondering, man, like, I know you're very friendly with Jonathan Taylor. And so what'd you learn? Because you don't just look at a situation and just evaluate it. I know you learned something from how he handled his business. So what did you learn from how Jonathan Taylor handled that situation?
Well, I don't have the full insights on the situation, so I can't really speak on it, like of what all went down. Obviously, he got his deal, but I don't know. Like there was stuff going on with owners and him that came out on social media, and it's like, how much do you trust that?
Right. I guess just the extreme measures that he went to get the deal that he indeed wanted. You know, sitting out.
What were the extreme measures?
I mean, he didn't play the first 4 games. He asked for, permission to seek a trade. He didn't get a trade. He came back. He sat.
What about the injury coming back from the PUP list, all of that stuff?
Right.
I mean, he was placed on that list. It wasn't like he was healthy and he just said, I'm not playing anymore. The team kind of made the decision. So many other
factors that I'm like, I can't even speak on it, man. I'm just happy that he got extended, got himself a deal towards the top of the market at that as well, because he is one of the top players in our position. So looking forward to see the impact he continues to make on that team.
Did you guys talk throughout that whole situation with him?
I hit him up. No, I didn't talk to him throughout his contract negotiation and all that. I just hit him up after he had his press conference, even before I think the news came out that he had gotten his new contract, and I just thought he handled it very professionally, talking about how, look, wherever he is and at this moment it's with his current team. He's going to try to go out there and make the biggest impact. And it's not about him, it's about the team. It's about continue to contribute. And while he's available, hey, he's going to give it his all. So I appreciated his message that he put out there just to keep it in a space where it's like neutral. No one can really fuster up anything about, he's salty, he's happy. Like, just keep it neutral, man, because people are going to try to tear you down, try to tear you up. And they try to put some controversy in it. And then that's not what you want to bring into your locker room. So he handled it very professionally.
I guess what I was thinking throughout is I want Austin Ekeler to get that deal. I want my friend Austin Ekeler to get that deal. That's all.
Hey, well, look, I'm in a situation. Look, I'm going into that was his second contract. Right. I'm going into a different situation because I'm going into my third contract. And I had this last year on my deal, and the fundamentals of my deal that I'm on right now were this situation where I was backing up Melvin Gordon. I had never been a starter. So, I wasn't considered a workhorse back. I don't even know if you still consider me that, but they were really uncertain about the impact I was going to be able to make and if I was going to be able to actually hold down my own as, the starting running back. And so that's what my deal was based off of. And so now I've kind of proven, over the past couple of years, like 1,600 yards, 20 touchdowns each year. It's like, okay, like, this guy can do it. I can do it by myself. You can bring someone in to help. That would be great. I would love that. But also, if you don't have anyone, I can hold down the rope. So now my circumstances have changed. I think someone said it. Yesterday's prices are not today's prices. And so I got to go out there and continue to prove that. And that's what I'm going to use this year to do. We were too far away from the deal being made, and so it didn't get done, and now it's up for me to go continue to make an impact and show that I can impact not just this team but any other team that I'm going to be on.
You have the Cowboys on Monday night. Do you enjoy playing in Monday Night Football?
Yes and no. Yes, because it's a primetime game, everyone's watching, it's like, okay, this is a spotlight. And no, because I got to wait around all day. There's nothing on, like There's no football on. And so us as football players were really anxious on game day. There's just feeling of like, okay, like it's time to go, we're locked in. And, when you have to sit around all day with that feeling of like, okay, like let me go over my script again. All right, what are the plays? What are the keys? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But I just want to get to it. Like I want to get to it, but it's not a
you want to wake up and play football, right?
Want to wake up, get right to it, man. Let's go.
It's funny that you say that because Mike Golic told us the exact same thing like 2 weeks ago. Yes. He was talking about a Notre Dame 8:00 game, and he's like, I absolutely hated night games as a player. I wanted to get up and play as early as possible just because I'm wired. Like that's what I'm doing that day, and if not, I'm just waiting around all day, and I hated that feeling.
Yeah, I'm gonna be sitting in my hotel room for hours and then finally get to go play a game. So it's like, yeah, I would rather just get straight to it. Let's get in, let's go smash each other, and let's go play some football.
But do you get extra hype once you're in it? It's Monday Night Football, the entire country's watching, and you're playing the Cowboys. That's pretty fucking cool, Austin.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool experience. It's hard to beat, hard to match that. The NFL and just what has been, built over, the decades of this league is pretty hard to beat, pretty hard to compare to as far as experiences, for sure.
Sounds like the mentality of someone who's confirmed he's playing on Monday night.
He got you. Austin, he had you on his fantasy
as much as
team.
I can, I guess. As much as I can. Whatever that means.
When you watch the film of the Cowboys, what are you doing and thinking when you watch Micah Parsons? That guy is a menace, Austin.
Yeah, we call guys like that werewolves. We faced a few werewolves in our days, and you got to have a plan for these guys because they've earned the respect to get multiple hands on them. Like we are planning, we'll have a plan for him. I mean, they got a couple other studs on that defensive line too. They got a really stout defensive line, so it's going to be a good test for our offensive line and tight ends and myself putting a protection plan to keep Justin upright and keep this run game moving, forward. And so for guys like that, we just faced Max Crosby. We had a plan for him. He's another werewolf out there who's just just doesn't stop ever, and is just efficient, is just ferocious, and it just has all these moves and power and has his thing. And so same thing with Micah, where they're going to move him all over the place. He'll be on the edge. He'll be in the 3-techs. He'll be over the nose. He'll be a linebacker. And we got to have a plan. And, We have Kellen Moore, who is planned against it, for the past whatever years he's been over there, and there's no doubt in my mind we'll have some type of way to try to slow him down. But even players like that, they're going to make a play every once in a while.
Right.
Like, you can't keep these guys caged up forever. But guess what? If they make a play, you got to keep going, help our guys up, go to the next one.
Billy, I want his top 5 werewolves.
I was wondering the same thing. I'm wondering who else is on the list of werewolves.
Can you think of that before the end of the segment?
I can't give credit for taking that one. That is definitely Joe Lombardi saying. So I want to give credit where credit's due there. I've just kept that one because that's gold, man. Like, these guys, these DNs, werewolves. We got a couple on our team too. Top 5 werewolves.
Oh wow,
Micah's definitely up there.
All right.
TJ Watt is up there as well.
Right.
I would say both the Bosas are there. This Aiden Hutchinson, I think that's how you say his last name.
Hutchinson. Yeah.
That guy he's there too. I feel like there's a lot. There's the guy from Tennessee, 93 or 98 on the interior over there. There's a few guys, man. I mean, I feel like every team has that guy on the D line, but those are some that stick out to me.
Is this a Kellen Moore revenge game?
Wow. Didn't even think about that. Kellen Moore revenge. We love a revenge game, Austin.
Love a good revenge game.
For sure. It's definitely a revenge game, right? But I don't know how he went out over there, if it was on good terms, bad terms, neutral terms. But regardless of how you go out, if a team doesn't bring you back and you play them, you want to prove to them, like, hey, this is what you're missing out on. Same if the Chargers didn't want to sign me back in the future. It's like, hey, if I'm playing them, like, I love the Chargers. I love being here, but it's like, hey, I'm going to show you what you're missing out on. And so, yeah, it's a revenge game. He wants to run up 100 points on these guys. And, I'm there to help him try to do that. So looking forward to it.
Austin, when you watch the Dolphins run the football and they do it so easily, like, have you watched them enough to, like, can you break down what the hell they're doing and how they do it so easily?
But man, they have such a creative running style with how they're running their wide zones. A lot of their run game is attacking the edge of the line of scrimmage. They do have some up the middle traditional inside zone, wide zone runs, but a lot of their stuff I feel like is let's get ourselves on the edge. Why? Because of the speed that they have on their team. It's obviously built around speed. So where can you get the speed going? Where there's space. So there's not a lot of space in the middle. So they're attacking these lines of scrimmage and try to get their guys on the edge. And so the simple manner, that's what I see them doing, and they're really effective at it.
What'd you make of Travis Etienne and the whole fantasy thing where he actually scored a touchdown, probably should have taken a knee, was getting criticized afterwards? You had to be laughing at that, right?
Yeah, I've been in that situation before as well. Actually, I wasn't playing myself, though.
Right.
It was the Browns, I think 2 years ago, and it was one of those scenarios where we were up by like – were we up? No, I think we were down by like two points or something.
Right.
And it was one of those where, hey, there's a minute something left. We're on like the 4-yard line. Don't score a touchdown, right? Get in there and take a knee, and we'll kick a field goal and get out of here with a win. And so our defense doesn't have to go back out. Well, I jumping around in the backfield and trying to like waste some time, which I was being a knucklehead. I should have just gone down. And then eventually they got a hold of me and they threw me in the end zone, basically. And it was one of those where it was like, everyone's like, bro, what are you doing? I'm just like, no, I'm sorry. We ended up winning the game. But yeah, there's some weird situations where you actually don't want to score. And then, I was getting crapped. Like, you're probably just trying to juice your fantasy stats. So I've been there in that situation too. But yeah, hey, we're out there playing hard, playing fast. And, sometimes, just the emotions take over, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, we got to try to help the team as much as we can. But
Billy, I'm interested here if Austin wants our advice, because he did announce last week that he's getting married in the off season. We're very excited for him. But the key to a good wedding is the cocktail hour. And so I was wondering if we could offer up some advice as to certain things you should have at said cocktail hour. What do you think?
For whatever reason, I feel like this advice is going to be so ridiculous. However, I just want to hear
just pigs in a blanket.
Jeez,
well, pigs in a blanket. We could start right there. It's a staple. They need to be there. Okay.
Pigs in a blanket?
Yeah, little hot dogs, mini hot dogs.
Yeah.
No.
What is this, like a tailgate party? What are we talking about here? It's a wedding.
I feel like you don't overthink it, Austin. You don't need more than 3 probably. Like sometimes some venues will give you options like, you can have 6. And you don't really need 6. It's not going to be actually that long. Like that's where they get you on the extras, 3's fine.
Okay.
Well, what were you thinking?
Austin, don't listen to them. They're skinny. Look, you want to talk to me. Listen, lamb lollipops. That's what you want. The lamb chops.
Lamb
lollipops.
Lamb lollipops?
Jeez. You call them lollipops, the little lamb chops.
How about an ice sculpture with tequila flowing down from it?
I need to get my fiance up here because she's planning the whole thing. You guys need to give this advice to her.
That's by the way.
He's got no say in any of it.
Best advice.
He's learned so quickly.
Best advice, Austin. Keep it that way. Don't involve yourself because it's never ending once you do. Once you get that little bit like, oh, you like, then it's like, well, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And it's like, I don't really care what color the thing underneath the table is. Like,
wait, Austin, next week, can you prepare questions for us about getting married and marriage in general? And we'll help you out.
There we go. Yeah,
yes.
I'll get a little list. We'll see if you guys can help me out. I would appreciate that. Yeah, there we go.
Right, man. We look forward to hopefully watching you play on Monday night. We're 99% certain we'll be watching you play on Monday night. It'd be good to see you back on the field, buddy. Thank you.
Hey, I would say those are pretty good odds. I mean, that's all I gotta say.
No, they're great odds. Anything you want to promote on the way out here?
Yeah, actually, I'm actually starting up a new company.
Nice.
It's not like a huge corporation thing. It's like a thing called X Games. It's a community that I'm starting in Discord. Like we have trivia nights for like Adidas gift packs. You can win some jewelry. We have like online putt-putt golf tournaments, a free like poker tournament you can come join. And so, yeah, check us out in Discord on X Games. You can find it in my link tree on Instagram if you want to come hang out. We got Uno night coming up on Monday. Ooh. We have some contests coming up, some cool prizes. So just a place where you can hang out, play some games together, and really just kick it.
You like Uno?
I do like Uno.
Draw 4. You don't know Uno, do you?
Do I know Uno? Yeah, the reverse. What do you mean? I don't know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Skip the draw 2. Let me ask you this before I get out of here.
Okay.
Do you allow the stacking of the +2s, or is it just
Great
immediately?
question.
Very controversial issue.
It is
very controversial.
So where do you sign?
Growing up, I thought that you could only, like, if you got it, you had to take it. You couldn't multiply it. But as you get older, I mean, why? If you can put a red 4 on top of a green 4, why can't you put, an extra reverse or an extra like? Why can't you stack?
That's what I'm saying.
And by the way, Austin, here's my thing on this. Now that we're talking about it, I feel like people.
Sorry, Austin, you brought it up.
I feel like
you're in his wheelhouse.
I think that people have like reached out to Uno, and Uno has made like an official like declaration on what the rules are, like on social media. And it's like,
who cares
Uno,
what they say?
Exactly right. Shut the hell up. Like, we're gonna play by the rules that we want to play by. I don't care what the creator of the game thinks.
Yeah, for sure. We'll play the game. You just make the cards. Let us play the damn game.
Exactly right.
We'll make up the rules.
Yeah.
What do they know?
Billy, are you excited because you drafted Austin Ekeler? We love Austin Ekeler. He didn't give you 100%, but he gave you 99%. He's coming back to the Chargers and your fantasy team on Monday night. How about that?
You keep trying to make this a thing that I'm only interested in Austin Eckler's health because of my fantasy team.
Well, you are.
Well, I'm not, because here's the thing. I feel like if I have Austin Ekeler come back, I don't know where he fits on my lineup because my team's pretty stacked right now. You know what I mean?
What are you talking about, Billy? Come on. Austin Ekeler, you drafted him in the first round. You didn't draft him to sit him. I mean, what are you doing?
I know, but this Zach Moss is getting me crazy points, so.
Yeah, but Jonathan Taylor's coming back.
Yeah, but Jonathan Taylor had like 15 yards last week, and Zach had like 2 or 3 touchdowns. So I'm not ready to give up on him yet.
Do you think Jim Irsay at any point during that game,
he was upset. He was asking if the contract was signed. 100% he was asking. He's like, wait, what do we do? Like, did he sign that yet? Like, I think we're good.
Is the ink dry?
Yeah, exactly right.
And we have to honor it, right? There's we have to do this? Okay.
They gave him guaranteed money. I mean, he's going for 177 yards and 2 touchdowns, and they ain't paying him what they're paying Jonathan Taylor. Yeah. Irsay had to be out of his mind last week. I mean, he always is. But what? Who said that? So, Billy, are you excited? So you're not going to start Ekeler, huh?
No, I'm definitely starting Ekeler. Get out of here. You think I'm an idiot?
You see what the Niners did to that Dallas defense last week?
Oh, man. You got any chance against the Eagles? We have 20 seconds here.
Mikey, do we have any chance against the Eagles?
No.
Oh.
No?
No.
I'm going to – you know what, Billy? Puncher's chance. They're at home. They're hot. They're confident in Zach Wilson. Breece Hall is back, and he is healthy. I have the Jets winning the game outright. How about that?
Zach Wilson's still throwing the punches.